Hello everybody, it's Hyde in the Philippines, and I'd just like to say right off the rip, thank you so much for my 500th subscriber. That's a threshold I was trying to beat. To get monetized, you have to have 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. I currently have 501 subscribers, which 500 was the threshold, and I have about 1,600 watch hours. So that's coming along slowly, but I'm just happy to have made that hurdle. Whoever you are, number 500, reach out if you can and give me a shout out. Okay, moving right along. I am talking today about retirement. Okay, if you live long enough, you will retire. It's going to happen. I have 3 years to go. At 62, I can collect my Social Security. That's the early retirement age. The recommended age by the government is 67. You will get your full retirement money, and that's usually, you can go to 70 if you want, and they'll give you a few more extra crumbs, but most people retire between 62 and 67. It's one of those. Okay, according to statistics that I pulled up this morning, the average American male lives to be 75. Okay, let that sink in. I'll let you do a little math. I'll do it for you. So you've worked 47 years of your life. Now you get 8 golden years. 8. That doesn't seem like a fair and or equitable trade if you ask me. 8 years after killing yourself, to get where you are. At the end, they're going to give you 8 years. And you're supposed to be grateful, you know what I mean? I guess, But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a simple question. Let's say you go all the way to 67. You get that full retirement package. What kind of shape you going to be in? I'm just asking, what kind of shape you in now? I mean, I'm 59. I got 3 years to go. I'm in relative good shape. But I'm aging. And what does aging mean? That just means a physical and mental decline. For some of us, it's just going to be physical. Our mind's going to be sharp as a tack. However, that body's going to give out. Now, I haven't escaped that. I myself, I have not escaped that at all. I am an average American male. I've got, arthritis in this hand. This knuckle's bigger than all the rest of my knuckles. It's arthritis, and it hurts. It'll wake me up sometimes at night, dull aching pain, just, wakes up and goes, hey man, just wanted to let you know that I'm growing, and it is. And then I also got carpal tunnel in my right arm. My arm will go to sleep on me depending on what position it's in. It'll just go dead numb because there's no blood flow to it. Now what has happened here is what's happened to most blue collar people. Blue collar just means at some point during the day you got to do something physically demanding. That's what blue collar means. So with that kind of a work load, or at some point you're going to get a permanent physical disability from your job. It'll be something. It might be minor, might be major, but you will get a permanent physical disability from a blue collar job. Now, I have no idea what happens to white collar people. Carpal tunnel for the clicking, clacking on the keyboards. I hear, but I'm not talking. I don't know anything about those people. All I know is us blue collar folks. So you'll get something. Most people do. Now, I'd like to pursue this by saying that my 2 best friends are 10 years older than me. So I get to see firsthand in real time what a retirement looks like here in the United States. They talk about it, they're living it, and that's my future. My future, if I wait till 67 or 65, that's what my future's going to be. So I listen and I watch and I learn. So I'm going to tell you about these 2 guys. And then I'm going to tell you a few other things, but let's just start with my one friend. Now, my one friend is living what would be considered the idyllic retirement. He's living in a very beautiful neighborhood, in a beautiful home. He moved in with his son in a basement. Okay, now you're thinking, oh man. No, the son tore the basement apart, redid the whole thing. Everything, new bathroom, you name it. it's less than a year, a year or two old. This this place that he built for his father. It's beautiful. Like I said, in a great neighborhood. When he goes out to Sliders in the morning, he can walk out there and look off a cliff and see the ocean over that away. His son's, makes good money and is a gourmet cook. And they go to fancy restaurants all the time because the son's always looking for new things to, cook and prepare. So by all intents and purposes, this is an idyllic situation. The only flaw to that plan is that malady I said that, most of us blue collar fellas get. He caught one, and it's called COPD. From 45 years of being a machinist and breathing oil, metal dust, and all the things that go along with machining, he got the COPD. Now, which it's a breathing difficulty. His lungs don't function correctly. So he can only go 20 feet, 30 feet, and then he's got to sit down for a minute, recover, and then get up and do it again. What should be the perfect, idyllic retirement, he can't fully enjoy. Because every other week he's maybe not every, but at least once a month he's in the hospital. Because the slightest, a common cold will kill this guy now. So the slightest anything that shows up, he's got to go right to the hospital, and then they pump him full of steroids, and that's his life now. Okay, that's his retirement life. Now I have another friend. He retired last year. Welder like me. He made it to the finish line. He got to 65 and he said, "Nope, I'm out, I'm done." And he's wore out. I've known him. He's recovered at my house twice for hip replacement surgeries from standing on concrete. You stand on that concrete for any amount of time, your knees or your hips or something's going to give out. And it was his hips. Okay, so, but other than that, for the most part, he's in pretty good shape. Maybe not breathing the best, but not the worst. So he makes it to that retirement, wore out. Wore the fuck out, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't mean to curse, but, that really emphasizes what I'm talking about. He is wore the fuck out, but he made it. He made it. Made it to the finish line. So he collects that check, signs up, signs up for his Part B and all that other Medicare crap. And he's on full-on Social Security. All right, well, at first it's going okay. It's going fine. He's kicking back at the house, watching TV, taking naps, eating food, living that retirement life. Okay, one of the things that we also have in common, he's a welder, I'm a welder. My wife died 27 years ago. His woman died 25 years ago. We've been single ever since. And that's living in solitude. And we're used to it for the most part, We're used to it. Okay, like I said, it was going good at first, but then life happens. Like it happens to all of us. Unforeseen expenses. And that's what's happened to my friend. That savings he had and, that Social Security money. And before you know it, the savings is gone because of life. Now you're living on that fixed income. And I'm watching him do it. And he's struggling. 100% struggling. And like I said, he lives alone. And living alone sometimes can send you to some dark places, especially when you think life is a futile engagement. Right now, I understand that he's looking at this life and the American dream was a lie. He worked his whole life and he's not supposed to struggle here at the end. At the end, you're supposed to, it's supposed to be a little easier, but it's not. It's worse. It's worse. So I know he's in a dark place right now because he keeps talking about selling his home. Now that home of his has been in his family. His father and his uncle built that. They cleared that land, tore the trees out, and built that house. He's lived there his whole life. And he's talking about selling it. It hurts me to watch my brother struggle. But that's where he's at. Retirement has not been financially feasible for him, and he's suffering and struggling. And I hope he don't have to sell his home. All right, we're going to move along a little bit. One of the other retirement plans, I don't ever see anybody talking about it. You never see it on the internet, is that forced nursing home retirement. Now, you never know when something bad's going to happen to you to where your family just can't or are unable to take care of you. And you get forced into a nursing home. You have a stroke or something like that. Next thing you know, you're in a nursing home and you can't take care of yourself. Now you're in a nursing home. I checked the stats this morning. The average lifespan of anybody that's put in a nursing home is 2.2 years. Yes, some people live longer. I didn't say retirement home. I said nursing home. You can put in a nursing home 2.2 years. Okay. Well, in Ohio, when that happens, the first thing they do is they take all your Social Security money. That's all gone. That's theirs now. The state gets it back. Every dime. Goes to that nursing home. And then if you own any property, they're going to make you sell it and put it in an escrow account. And then whatever the difference is between what it takes to house and feed and medicate you over that 2.2 years, they take out of that account, and whatever's left over, they're going to divvy up for your heirs. Which, if you talk to anybody, there's never any money at the end. For some reason, fees and whatnot, they get it all. And it's never been my intention to give the state anything. I've never wanted to give them a dime. But, they take it. They figure out ways to take it. Now, that being said, I don't know if you've ever been in a nursing home. They're terrible, man. You go in one of them, they smell like piss. You can hear people moaning and crying. And, I don't know if that sounds like a horror movie to me, like how a horror movie starts and or ends. And I don't want no part of that. Now, I've got a friend of mine over there in the Philippines. His girlfriend's mother is debilitated. She was fine, then she's debilitated. Now she's bedridden. They've got a hospital bed. It's right in the living room. She doesn't move from there. They wash her. They take care of her. The family takes care of the mother. Everybody is in on it. Now, I think that's a blessing because the children from a young age should understand and support that at some point that's going to be them, and they need to understand that they need to help out. But we don't do that here in the States. You become a burden, we ship you off so we don't have to look at you. And we don't have to feel the guilt of not stepping up and handling that situation. Because I got news for you. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's sort of a joke, but you wiped your kid's ass for a couple of years when they were coming up. And for sure, they're not going to wipe your ass not even one day when you're a grown up. They're just not going to do it. But, that's neither here nor there. But what I want to get at is in the Philippines, let's just say I do get debilitated there. It only costs $300 for a live-in nurse. She will come and live in your house, feed you, wash you, go out and do your shopping. Okay, you can't get that kind of treatment here. And the food you're going to get there is far superior because she's going to go to the market every day and buy fresh food and vegetables, and your life is going to be superior. I believe you would live past that 2.2 years in that kind of environment. I'm going to test the theory myself. I've looked into my situation, and I can't afford to retire here in the Philippines or in the United States on the stipend that the American government has decided they're going to give me on a month-to-month basis. I can't do it. I just can't afford it. So I would end up like my friend. I'd eventually have to sell my home. I'd have to move into some apartment and then wait for something to happen and then end up in the nursing home. I don't like the sound of any of that shit. None of it. None of it sounds appealing. And it produces a fear in me. I don't know if it produces a fear in you, but I don't want to go out like that. I don't want to go out laying in a bed by myself moaning out for God knows what these people are moaning about, crying out for. Death, loved ones. That's not. I want my loved ones around me. Me not crying out, but maybe them shedding a tear or two. I don't know if that's a selfish way, but that's the way I feel about it. Okay, this has been Hiding in the Philippines. Once again, thank you for my 500th subscriber. Please reach out to me. Be as good as you can.